Hey everyone, this is Chris Gleim from the Food Bank of Northern Nevada. Today we're going to look at the certification of eligibility and sign-in process for the TEFAP program. First, we're going to look at the certification of eligibility poster. I will also refer to certification of eligibility as COE, just so I don't get caught with my words during this presentation. The COE poster has three parts. The top part has how somebody qualifies by program. The second part is how somebody qualifies by income. And this bottom part here is how somebody, or no, not how somebody, it's a civil rights write-up that they have on most TEFAP forms. The first part is how somebody qualifies by being on a public assistance program. The main ones are SNAP and WIC. Those are the big ones. SNAP being food stamps, excuse me. Somebody can also qualify by having a child on free and reduced lunch. TANF is the temporary assistance for needy families, and SSI is supplemental security income. If you look at the poster, it actually says Social Security supplemental. That is incorrect. I have to go to the NDA to get that changed. So we will just leave that on there and just know that it's supplemental security income. And that's basically disability. We'll look at the second part, which is allowable income, or AI. TEFAP income level is based on 185% of the current year's poverty line. A client can qualify by one of the following ways: weekly income, monthly income, yearly income. They do this so if somebody is a contract worker or temp worker, they can still qualify during the times that they're working. So if somebody's working 1 week and not working the next, they can qualify for the week that they're not working. And if they qualify based on one, they qualify for the program altogether. This income level changes every year. On this presentation, we have 1920. I will let you know when the new income levels come out, and we'll send it out to you guys. If you have a super old one on your poster, please let me know and I can provide you with a new poster. All right, now let's look at the do's and don'ts of signing in and COE stuff. So do post the certification of eligibility where the clients can view it before they sign in. Very important, we need them to look at the poster or view it before signing in for the TEFAP program. Do verify residence if a client is unknown to you. So if a new client comes in, make sure they provide some sort of identification so you can make sure that they're within the service area. Do have a pantry worker or client fill out the certification of eligibility sign-in form. Besides the signature, and we'll talk about this a little later, it's just easier to have a staff or volunteer fill this out for legibility purposes. And you guys usually know what I'm talking about. A lot of clients have illegible writing, which makes it difficult to read and get data from the forms. All right, now let's look at the do nots. Do not ask for any form of verification of eligibility other than residency. TEFAP's a self-declaration. So if the client comes in and looks at the poster and says, yes, I qualify, we cannot ask for any other proof besides their verbal yes. And then also do not ask for any further information other than what is on the COE sign-in form. This can be challenging. Just make sure to differentiate between the sign-in form. So if you have somebody signing in for normal food bank stuff, obviously we have a different food bank form for that. And then when they sign in for TEFAP, make sure you're just reiterating that it's for the TEFAP program. All right, now let's look at the actual sign-in form. This needs to be filled out by all clients who receive TEFAP commodities. And we'll go through what sections need to be completed in full. There's two versions. There's an English and a Spanish version. If you need either, please let me know. Contact me if you need more sign-in forms. We have money to use to print out sign-in forms. So don't use your own funds to do this because we have those available. All right, now we're going to go through each section of this just to make sure we are doing this correctly. For distribution site, we'll look at the best practices. You do not need to fill out the distribution name if you're at your pantry. I would just fill out the first one for that specific distribution day, put the name of your agency at the top. But with the following forms behind that, don't worry about it. If you are doing a mobile distribution, please provide the name of the site just to differentiate between pantry sites, mobile sites, and if you do homebound, write homebound deliveries at the top. Throw the date on the form up top. There is a date section, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but it's easiest just for everyone to fill in. So you don't have everyone filling in the date in the section there, just fill it out on the top. And then also a big one here, note who is monitoring the sign-in sheet or filling it out. Have them sign the top, sign the bottom, sign somewhere on there. So we see who's verifying the information. Then you can also have somebody say there's some information that isn't correct. You can go back and see who filled the stuff in, filled the information in. You can go have a conversation with them to correct the discrepancies. All right, now we'll look at household size. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's how many people live in a household per individual signing in. Only one person in the household needs to sign in. If you have a husband and wife come in, only one of them needs to sign in. All right, recipient name and signature. This will be the name and signature of the client will be written in this section. The signature can mean a traditional signature, which we usually see, initials, a scribble, pretty much any way the client can sign in. We do have clients coming in with disabilities, maybe hard for them to sign or something like that. So we'll pretty much take anything that they can get on paper. Watch out for waivers in this section, like especially right now, we have the COVID waiver in place. So the clients aren't actually filling out their signature because we don't want to have pin-to-pin passing, which could spread the virus. I will let you know if there is any signature waivers or any other type of waivers along with this form. Just keep a lookout on those, or either a phone call or email. And then again, reiterating this, please have a staff or volunteer who are signing in the clients, sign their name somewhere on the COE form, sign-in form, and they need to sign each form, just so we have verification that somebody did fill this out, who is a staff or volunteer. All right, now let's look at the address. We need to capture the address for everyone coming through picking up TEFAP commodities. Before we had some rules about not filling out this if we had people's address on file. We're going to go away from that. We're just going to get everyone's address to be fully compliant. We had a little bit of a hiccup with this in our last Nevada Department of Agriculture audit, and they want us to fill this out completely. We prefer a physical address, but if somebody only has a PO box, go ahead and put the PO box in. If a client is experiencing homelessness, use the address of the pantry, use the address of the distribution site, or use the closest cross streets. All right, phone number. This is really optional. The NDA does not require a phone number due to it not being an eligibility obligation. If the client feels like they want to put their phone number down, they can do that. All right, date. We kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. Fill in the date the client received commodities here in this section or at the top of the sign-in form. Either one will fulfill this requirement. All right, and this is a big one. Another emphasis of this presentation, the client certification. Again, this was something that we had to do a little bit of corrective action to fix because as the food bank wasn't doing this and we weren't requiring the pantries to do it. Well, we need to change that. We have started to do it and we need all of you as pantries to do this as well. You'll check one of the boxes on how the client is eligible for the program. Again, a pantry worker or volunteer should be checking one of these boxes. And just to go over, just to refresh your memory real quick, PA, program assistance, again, is on the poster. We're looking at SNAP and WIC as the two big ones, and then we have some other ones underneath that. Go ahead and look at the poster if you want to look at the other ones. And then AI, allowable income, is again the weekly, monthly, or yearly income for the client. They also have a denied section in here. Go ahead and skip this. If the client doesn't qualify, just don't have them sign in. And then we'll look at kind of the best practices for this certification part. And this is what we have done as the food bank and found it to be best and most time efficient for signing clients in. So again, first, make sure that certification of eligibility poster is visible to all clients before they sign in so they can see how they qualify. When a client is signing in, ask the client if they are on a program from the poster, such as SNAP or WIC. Those are the two big ones, so those are the easiest to ask the clients about. If they say yes, go ahead and check the PA box for program assistance. If they say no, check the AI box. And we can check the AI box because we have done the steps before this. So we know that the client has viewed the certification of eligibility poster because it has been posted before they sign in. The client is saying they qualify for the program, but not based on a program. So that would mean that they qualify based on income. And third bullet point, like I said, the client is not on one of the posted programs, so they must qualify based on income because of the steps that we had put in place. Okay, that's everything on there. Well, let's talk about the monitor visit and how we will double check all this stuff. So when we come in, we will be looking for that you have the latest certification of eligibility poster. And we know that based on the income guidelines. So again, if you have an old one, reach out to me, I can provide new ones to you. And we also look where the poster's hung or where you guys, some people don't have it hung all the time, they just have it hung during distribution. So as long as you show us where the poster's hung and it's before the client signs in, you're going to be good. We'll also take a sample size of your TEFAP sign-in sheets from the past year to ensure that the form is filled out correctly. Again, I know that we are just catching up on some of this stuff and fixing some of these items as far as the address and a volunteer signing the form and certification or how somebody certifies. I understand that we may not have been doing that the whole year, so we'll just be checking that you're doing it currently, specifically. And then lastly, that you have records from 3 years plus the current year. This is the document timeframe compliance that the TEFAP program requires. So any of the forms that you have signed in, your agreement with us, you should have 3 years plus the current year. And that's basically all we'll look for. If there's any problems, we'll require some corrective action from you as a pantry around the sign-in form. So we'll work with you to get that fixed up. So that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Here's my email and my office phone. A lot of you have my cell phone, to go ahead and call me on that too. If you have any questions or need anything as far as more sign-in sheets, a new poster, anything, please reach out. I'm here to help you guys. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks.